The 16th American President, Abraham Lincoln, defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people and for the people. But is that our reality in Nigeria today? I would love you to ponder on that. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. I welcome you to The Big Story. And this morning, our focus is this topic: June 12 protests between democratic ideas and Nigeria's reality. And to help us examine the significance of the June 12 protests and the gap between democratic ideas and the realities confronting Nigerians today, we are joined by Prince Tunde Odunlade, a distinguished Nigerian visual artist, textile designer, and founder of Tunde Odunlade Arts and Culture Connections. Prince Odunlade, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well.
Happy Democracy Day.
Happy Democracy Day. All right. Same here. Before I turn to you, I would love us to watch this short documentary that will help us connect the past with the present. Let's have it.
June 12th is not just a public holiday. It is the soul of Nigeria's democratic identity. But to understand today, we must look back 33 years. Following a decade of strict military dictatorship after the 1983 coup led by Major General Muhammadu Buhari, a frustrated nation hungered for freedom. The military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida promised a transition to civilian rule. A strict two-party system was designed. The National Republican Convention and the Social Democratic Party. Representing the Social Democratic Party was business tycoon and philanthropist Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Standing against him was Alhaji Bashir Tofa, representing the National Republican Convention, NRC. Then came Saturday, June 12, 1993. What happened next shocked the world. Millions of Nigerians marched to the polls in what is universally recorded as the freest, fairest, and most peaceful election in our nation's history. For 24 hours, the artificial walls of ethnicity and religion crumbled. Christians voted for a Muslim ticket. Voters in Kano overwhelmingly backed Abiola over their own son of the soil. It was a flawless demonstration of collective will of a sovereign people. But the dream was violently paused. Before the final official tallies could be concluded, the military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida abruptly annulled the election, plunging the nation into chaos. What followed was regime of General Sani Abacha, marked by the targeted assassination of pro-democracy activists, mass strikes, and bloody crackdowns on the streets. Chief MKO Abiola refused to surrender his mandate and ultimately died in military custody in 1998. Yet, that painful collective sacrifice broke the back of military rule, paving the way for the unbroken civilian governance we have held since 1999. Today, 33 years later, June 12 is no longer just a history lesson. It is a mirror reflecting the structural crisis of modern Nigeria. In our security sector, a nation that once marched peacefully to the polls is now deeply fractured by rampant banditry, mass abductions, and regional insurgencies. In our electoral system, the sacred nature of voters' rights is under constant assault by systemic voter suppression, technological failures, and the dangerous monetization of politics across our economy and society. As everyday citizens battle severe inflation and institutional corruption, we are forced to confront a painful reality. As our 27-year democratic journey actually delivered the tangible open 1993 dividends of public safety, welfare, and equal justice, or have we merely replaced military uniforms with civilian suits? As we look at a deeply strained nation today, the definitive questions of our time must be asked. How can we guarantee the safety of the Nigerian voter when basic security cannot be assured across our communities? Are our electoral bodies truly independent, or is the right to vote becoming meaningless in the face of political manipulation? And finally, what will it take to resurrect the unprecedented cross-regional unity that Nigerians flawlessly displayed on that historic Saturday?
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. Let me turn to you, Prince Odunlade. The democracy we transitioned to in 1999, is it the same democracy that we practice today? And this is the reason for my question. Many have argued that this democracy that we talk about has become a tissue paper democracy.
Well, you know that we always have divergent opinion on any matter at all. So that's that person's opinion.
Okay.
You know, depends on who you talk to. Bottom line is, democracy is not a product. It's a process. So you can't expect it to be just one time, you know, thing or one size fits all. So we'll be going from one state to another and another and another, you know, if you like, until we finally get it right. But as it stands now, different people with different view of what our democracy is. But just like you early quoted the President of the United States of America, who says democracy is a government of the people, for the people, by the people.
Right.
So I think this is where the people really need to, you know, take mantle of leadership on their own. Like they say, people deserve the government they get. So if we talk in terms of our leadership, you know, you must recognize, you must remember that these so-called leaders, you know, stood from among us to go into those offices, office of the president, the governor, the senate. So they are a reflection of who we are as a people, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So they are not aliens, they are not just brought from outer space, you know, they are from within us. They go into that so-called offices. So we must not expect too much in terms of our expectation of them. Rather, what we as citizens, as followers, where do we come in? How do we bridge that gap, that which may have not augured well for us in terms of our democratic setting? So I still think that the people have a lot to do. You know, Wole Soyinka says, dead in him, the man who keeps quiet in the face of tyranny. Thank God it's not a tyrannic government. It's a government of the people. So we really need to participate. We really need to take charge of certain things in our democratic setting.
Okay, so allow me quote somebody now. I'm talking about, you know, a person that has been very instrumental before he passed in this country, Obafemi Awolowo.
Yes.
He said, when you adopt a foreign system and you don't domesticate, there will be issues. And I'm talking about the system of government that we practice in Nigeria today. You know, how much has that contributed to the challenges that we face in Nigeria today?
You see, may I correct one impression?
Please do.
Democracy is actually of the people of Nigeria. Look at the system by which the Yoruba, you know, conduct their governmental affairs. They have the king, they have the chiefs, they have the baales, they have the baales, and even head of each home has its head, taken care by the, if you like, by the eldest woman in the house, the eldest wife in the house. Okay. So it's that democratic process that whoever claimed to be bringing democracy to us today copied. I make bold to say that we've always run a democratic, you know, setting culturally. So it's not supposed to be something foreign like foreign. But it is just that they took it, they kind of, you know, if you like, refine it or adopt it, and then we took it from them and we and we pretend as if it's something foreign. No. We just need to go back to our original self. And we will see that it's a process that has always lived with us, has always been with us. So we should stop thinking that democracy is foreign to us. It's not. It's just a matter of going back to who we are as a people, our culture, our views about life, that all of which we have almost abandoned. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I do agree with Baba Owolowo, and may he forever live. With the quotation you just gave. But it's just a matter of us seeing it as something not really foreign, per se.
Okay.
But we just need to go back to the roots. We just need to understand what was our fathers, our great ancestors, what were they doing? They were democratic in their process, and that's why they have those set of hierarchy, beginning with the king, his chiefs, his baales, his baales, to the lowest level.
Okay. So what disrupted the democracy that we have built over years?
Good
Is it
question.
Colonial system or the military incursion?
Of course. Colonial did its own, military did its own. So it's all, an avalanche of crises, that led us to where we are today. And they were happening, in trickles, step by step. One thing leads to another and another and another and another. So what we need to do, let's all look inward. Let's all come back home. What were we doing before the advent of the colonial masters? You may argue it's been quite a while, 400, 500 years ago. But in the same vein, when you visit Ifa will tell you part of what we were doing. I'm sure the Igbos have their own that they call Dibia, that goes into the origin of where they come from. The Hausa too, I'm sure we have their own. We just need to look inward. We need to look inward. Like that young man sings, ire, 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 ayọ̀ pè mí o. Ó ní kí n máa bọ̀, ó ní kí n máa bọ̀ wá sílé. Ẹ̀dá mi ṣàtọ́kùn fẹsẹ̀ mi, jẹ́ kí n padà sílé. That's what the young man is saying. Let's go back. Let's come to our senses. Let us realize that it is our life, and the way we lead it, that's what we will get out of it. I've come to the point that I've stopped blaming, white man for our misfortune. Yes, they had their own, they had their own role they play in terms of ensuring that we do not go beyond, too much, so that they can continually, manipulate us, But in the same vein, they've been gone since 1960, as we say. Even though you may still argue that they are still remote controlling us. But for her, you are not a fool until you agree that you are a fool. If anybody calls you a fool and you know you are not a fool, you are not a fool.
So it's about the psyche of
It's about the psyche,
Nigerians.
Of what you have in your mind. And we can use our culture, our arts, to really revisit who we are as a people. People don't go to museums. They need to go to museums and find out what was our ancestors, what were they doing.
So how do we bring back the interest in our culture? Because I think I listened to you a few years back.
Yes.
You were a guest at University of Ibadan,
Yes.
Department of History, I think
Yes.
during Black History Ceremony.
Yes.
And you spoke extensively about culture.
Yes.
So many persons are not interested in culture anymore, especially when people move around other countries, they come back and they don't want to have anything to do with their own culture anymore.
You see, it's not so much that again. What it is somebody came and told you that your culture is barbaric, and you believe it. So much that So many things they bungled up with what is culture. You know, religion, for instance, may be a fraction of cultural belief.
Okay.
But in the same vein, culture simply means a way of life. That means it's never going to be static. It will be dynamic. That means you have to have constant review of your cultural life. That means you have to see, you know, the importance in your culture germane to the kind of life you want to live. We don't see it as such. We just throw everything, throw gentlemanism into there. When it comes to culture, the first thing some people will say is Orisha. Otherwise, why will anybody call Festac the genesis of our problem in this country? And whereas what Festac basically was trying to do is to remind us of the vibrancy in our culture, of the commonality of our culture, particularly in Africa. You know, what are those things that are common to us, you know, as people of African descent, or as Nigerian, or as Yoruba? How do we share that? How do we, you know? But instead, they demonize it. They say Festac was the genesis of our problem in this country. It was after we did Festac that all the demons in the world, you know, were brought to Nigeria. That's absolute lie. In fact, the problem actually came as a result of not seeing Festac in the true sense of it, in the true perspective of it, which is to use culture to unite us, to use culture to develop us as people, to use culture to fortify our political way, to use culture to see the need for us to realize that we have commonwealth. In other words, to bring to the forth our economical way of life. That's part of what Festac was designed for. Some group of negritude scholars, the likes of Leopold Sédar Senghor, Art César, and many others back in France in those days. And it was at that point, the early 60s, where the the civil rights movement in America got to the peak. And results were coming out as a result of what the likes of Martin Luther King, Ralph Abernathy, and a host of others, including W.B. Du Bois, who joined these negritude scholars, you know, to sit down in a round table and say, who are we as a people? And they recognize who we are as a people. Okay, how do we celebrate ourselves? Okay, let's start with Festac, whereby we can share, whereby we can influence, you know, each other and learn how to be better people. That was what informed Festac.
Okay, do you think a lack of enlightenment made it fail in a way?
Made it failure. That because we failed to see the sense in it. Our own man here, Professor Wole Soyinka, was part of the planning of this grandiose celebration of African culture. Professor Abiola Irile of late, from University of Ibadan here, they were part of the whole exercise. So I don't know where my people got the wind of Orisha then. And if it is Orisha, what do we bring out of Orisha? Is Orisha a thing we should just throw away without having understood what it is? You know, a person that I fear the most is somebody who does not understand something and simply condemn it. is dangerous.
So you said something about the people now. Going back to why these things have failed over time. You said the people should do more.
Yes.
Certain scholars like John Locke argued, extensively about social contract, that there should be a symbiotic, relationship between the leaders and the people.
There you go.
That the leader should provide certain, amenities to the people, like security, like electricity and quite a number of other things. And in return, the people will also support the leaders.
Yes.
Is that obtainable in Nigeria today?
Again, is a topic for argument.
Right.
I said earlier, the people deserve the leader they get. To a large extent, we all see what is going on. Do we have constant electricity? The answer is no. Do we have regular supply of water as it should be? The answer is no. Do we have this and that, all those amenities a human being need to be able to be called a human being? At least we have the United Nations regulatory order of what a person must be in order for it to be recognized as a citizen of the world. We don't so much have that. But the problem lies in the fact that it's historical. I won't blame 100%. I won't 100% put all the blame on the current president.
Why?
It's been happening. It's been happening from time immemorial. That we are not doing much about it. That a few of us who get to be in power or who get to be by the corridor of power, and we've both been struggling together. We've all been struggling together. Before he gets there, what you are asking him to go and do, he will not do. When you send the senator to Abuja to go and make law that will positively affect the citizenry, and he gets there and he starts doing something, is he not one of us who happened to find himself there, or a member of House of Rep, or even a member of House of Assembly, or even a governor? They are part of us. They came from within us to go there. So what I'm saying in essence is, all of us now to begin, we need to start. Okay, the woman in Bodija market who will do something to the mudu, to
reduce the quantity.
To reduce the quantity, is that Tinubu. The vulcanizer, you say, do this tire for me, and then the vulcanizer does the tire. Then in 2 days the tire goes down again, so that you can come back to him. The mechanic, the landlord who built his house 50 years ago, and now he wants to rent it out as if it was built yesterday. Is that Tinubu?
What about certain policies that have worsened the situation?
I agree with you.
Like the removal of fuel subsidies.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree that policies sometimes may determine how, but still the people still need to come to their senses. We need to start building institutions. And how do you build an institution? It starts from the individual level. It starts from the individual level. We need to understand what role do we have to play as a citizen of the country. Where do we begin to make our contribution? Look, whoever set up Dominion TV has something good in mind. Let me inform my people. Some people will take the money and go to Dubai to go and buy properties there. So we need to start, looking inward. We need to start, allowing, giving the opportunity to people to blossom. Everything should not be about government. Not too long ago, The government of America shut down for almost 2 months. But the impact wasn't all that terrible. If government shuts down for 2 weeks in this country, if care is not taken, we'll be eating ourselves on the street.
Okay, Prince, now, a very quick question. Do you think the leaders from the presidency down to local government chairman, do you think they communicate enough with the people? Because I want to believe that communication in the way can calm a lot of things down.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Do they communicate enough with the people?
Right.
And what are the people themselves doing? What are they saying? How are they communicating to the government? How are they letting the government know where the shoe pinches? I'm telling you this. We need to do more than we are doing, we citizens of this country. We need to do more than we are doing in terms of reaching out, letting the world know. Religion has been caging us. Okay, like I give an example of something. Somebody says, a pastor says, I can pray for you with the anointing in me and you will get a job. But where's the job? The other one says, I can pray for you, you will get a job, but go and sow a seed first. See, when you see how divided we are within ourselves, and using one thing that let me tell you, I'm doing an exhibition now.
Okay.
I call the exhibition EETR, which if you read it in English, will be IITA.
Right.
But with every sense of apology to IITA. EETR means Ìtànjẹ Ìrẹ́jẹ Títí Ayé.
Wow.
That's the next exhibition and I've been sensitizing my artists. And I'm saying this, that whoever sees himself as a creative in any way you could, poetry, visual art, drama, music, that you do something that will reveal our inadequacies, our corrupt mind. Everyone is corrupt. So, without question, communication has broken down between the people, within the people, even within the people themselves, and the government. Not to now talk about, collective, communication device or collective communication, disposition.
Right.
All right? So, you are very right. I'm not sure there is that communication that can bring about a better society.
Okay.
We need to recreate it. We need to work on it. We need to let the government know where the shoe pinches. We should not wait until somebody does it for us. We have to do it for ourselves, whichever way. And it doesn't have to be violent. Martin Luther King got the people of America, the black people in America, out of the situation they faced.
Oppression,
if you like, without raising a pen knife. We don't have people here now who stand for us as it should be.
Are the people even ready to listen?
Are the people, well, see what I'm saying? The people themselves don't even know what they need. We need to come together. We need to have town hall meetings whereby all of us can determine our life.
Okay, Prince, what about protests? Because that will link me to another question,
Good.
Which is a kicker to this topic that we're treating today.
Good.
I think the Falanos, Femi Falana's son, has said that he's going to stage a protest.
Good.
Very dark man too.
Yeah.
And even the Take It Back movement, they are set for protest today. Can he solve anything?
You see, the same people they are trying to fight for. You see, look at Fela when Fela was alive. How we despise Fela in spite of all his struggle. That I almost say Fela lived like 100 years ahead of his time. Because the people don't have a clue. And that starts from, you know, basic education that will let you know your right from your left. That, but is each time our students come to the gallery, just yesterday, students of one university here in Ibadan that I won't mention, came to the gallery, about 40 something of them. And when they come, I take joy in addressing them, in talking to them, in finding out what are they really up to. And I asked, and this is not just yesterday experience, it's virtually every time experience went out. The education you are getting in school, do you think the education will give you a better you in the future? Usually the answer is no.
So why are they pursuing?
They have to, because that's what the society demands of you.
Okay. Does this serve as a background to anything you want to do?
Anything you want to do. Then I will now tell them, okay, if you feel that education does not give you, you yourself, do you have, is there something in you? Have you looked inward to see what is in you? If that education will not give you, create. So that's why I was glad when the federal government started what they call Ministry of Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Right.
The creative economy there is my interest. But how are we implementing that? Entrepreneurial course, it was just being introduced to our university. All of that, we need to ensure that we are producing graduates who can stand on their own, that they don't have to be looking for white-collar jobs that are not in the first place, not there.
And I think coming to the gallery in a way can expand their mind.
Exactly.
Because if you cannot process it in the mind.
Yes. So I'm always glad when I see these young folks. And some of them come up with brilliant ideas. Like I'm going to one function now at the museum.
Okay.
You know, after leaving this place. A young lady who has initiated a lot of really, really vibrant ideas, and she's showcasing it at the museum today, which you call cultural iris, IRIS.
Okay.
Cultural iris. And she's looking at how our culture, as we have failed ourselves in terms of how we see our culture, how we have lost our identity, how we need to begin to come back to our senses. So every now and then you see one or two of them coming up with brilliant ideas like that. But for those who are thinking that it is the education that will give them everything, fine.
Prince, is the environment encouraging?
No, not very.
Because the reason why so many persons are not, creative the way they should be, is because, they are still thinking about electricity, water it.
I understand that part. That I was telling somebody, I say, you say you want to go into the House of Rep. It's okay for you to go. And I'm not expecting you to bring back riches. That you come back and start flaunting your affluence.
Okay.
But I want you to go there and create the enabling environment that will, in effect, give us wealth. Riches amount to wealth. When well, used, when it's effectively used.
Okay.
Riches can lead to wealth.
Exactly.
But in a situation whereby all you're focusing on is riches, 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 then the wealth is lagging, then you are killing your future. You are gradually killing your future. So go there. The riches you find there, let's use it to create wealth and all of us can be happy.
All right. My final question this morning, you mentioned something about, the fact that our challenges in Nigeria did not start today. It started way back.
Yes.
And of course, I try to, I don't really like to compare Nigeria with Western countries.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I don't either.
But let's look at even African countries who experience, certain issues, and then, certain president came into power, and then they were able to change the narrative. So at what point in Nigeria should we expect the Messiah?
Well, unfortunately, you showed a documentary earlier.
Right.
Who knows what Abiola could have given us? I was in a place in Canada. After the opening of my exhibition, some group of friends said, let's go to dinner.
Okay.
And this was around 1998, when the case of Abiola was really. And then that lady said, by the way, Tunde, I've been hearing you people talking about, your democratic process in Nigeria being something critical. What exactly happened? So I narrated everything to her from 1993 voting, and how the changes that happened and how Abiola ended up, in being incarcerated for declaring himself. And the lady said, what? She started laughing and laughed and was rolling on the floor. That one of the waiters ran to her and said, ma'am, what can I do for you? Should I call ambulance? I said, leave her alone. She's just having a good time. Why was she laughing? So there are still some people on earth who are still struggling about who to rule them or who not to rule them. When we spend taxpayers' money on arguing about, Canada is a bilingual country,
right.
French and English. When we still spending taxpayers' money on write it in French, no, it should be in English. No, it should be in both languages. That is, government has been established, has stabilized, that things ephemeral is what they go to the house to argue. And we are still arguing with who is going to rule us, who can rule us, who cannot rule us. It's ridiculous. We need to come to our senses. Everybody in government today, like I just recorded a song. I say, you people in government, what are you doing there to help? You people are the ends of affairs. Our life is in your hand. Then you people again at home, do whatever you can to help each other. Let's work together as a people. Let us see it as our commonwealth as Ishewa Joshi. Something that we must all collectively come together and do. This scatter kind of governance, kind of citizenry we are playing, it's not going to help us.
Profound. Honestly, a big thanks to you, Prince Tunde Odunlade, distinguished Nigerian visual artist, textile designer, and founder of Tunde Odunlade Arts and Culture Connections, for being a part of today's session.
Thank you very much.
Right. From your discussion, I think we've been able to establish certain facts that people should reflect the kind of leaders they want.
Yes.
And we should work on our psyche and mentality.
Our mentality.
Exactly. A big thanks to the audience for being a part of this discussion. We've heard it. We need to reflect the kind of leaders that we want, and the leaders also must be ready to be accountable. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. We take a short break, and when we come back, we say our BY on the show. Please.